And we're officially live. So
Ahoy, hoy.
uh, right here, this is Mel Cup, otherwise
Barry.
also known as Styles Bitchley,
Yeah.
also known as Mel Rock and Roll Cup.
Yeah.
In your current band, that's how you
Yeah.
introduce Mel Rock and Roll Cup. I'm Garth Algar from Wayne's World, and no, I'm Barry Welsh, and this is Indiana Rocks, not to be confused with the Rocks of Indiana, which is another show we've been talking about doing with slate and the sandstone, and of course the Indiana limestone from the
rivers and stuff.
Yeah,
Lots of rocks.
but that's not this show. This is Indiana Rocks, and what this show is going to be. It's our debut. So thank you for clicking on. Thank you for tuning in. Feel free to hop in the chat if you're watching live on YouTube. If you're watching at your convenience, which most people will, we greatly appreciate it. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, so more people have a chance to see what we're doing here. And what we're doing is we're going to highlight the musicians, the bands, the personalities, the locations that made Indiana rock. And we got a lot of, geez.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of things that we're going to be talking about. This isn't going to be like a five episode series. We're going to do this on Monday nights, every Monday night at 9:00. And if nobody watches, that's okay. It'll end up being an archive of Indiana rock history from like the
Early
inception,
70s.
The early 70s. You know,
late 60s, early 70s.
Actually, the mid 60s, because we're going to have an episode on Rick Derringer, who was in the McCoys and did
Johnny Winter and Edgar Winter.
He played with Johnny and Edgar Winter, and we're going to have an episode, of course, with we're going to talk next week. Our second episode is going to be about John Mellencamp. Only it's not going to be about John Mellencamp. It's going to be about the band, basically that made him worldwide, which was probably the album. So and that brings us to tonight. Toby Myers was the bass player on the album, and for like 15 years after that, I think, with Mellencamp. And Toby passed away recently, and he was also the bass player for an Indianapolis band called Roadmaster, Indianapolis bass band called Roadmaster. Before they were Roadmaster, they were Pure Funk. We're going to kind of tell that story tonight. But before we do that, I want to kind of establish our credentials, if you will. So, people out there going, what, who are you two guys to be talking about this? Well, we were part of this in various different ways. And first of all, I'm a bass player. I own basses anyway. And I was a disc jockey at the Razzmatazz, a nightclub in Indianapolis on 34th and High School Road. I worked at Bentley's. I worked at the Enterprise. Bentley's was on the south side, Enterprise on the east side. There were clubs, the Vogue, the Patio. We're going to do a whole episode on just the Indianapolis bar scene in its heyday.
It was awesome.
But so I worked with a lot of the people that we're going to be talking about. And I was also on the radio disc jockeying at various places. So again, I've been backstage with a lot of bands, and I've been able to jam with people that has just been like, you're kidding me. And that's how I met Toby. And we'll get to that. But we're going to establish let me make sure we get this. If I get this make sure we get this. No, we haven't got this up yet. All right. Mel saw it. You didn't get to see his reaction to it. It's been a while since I produced the show, and again, thank you for watching. Those clicking on, and again, hop in the chat if you're there. No politics. Nothing but peace, love, sunshine, and music. And Mel said, "Oh my." What do we have here, Melvis?
Well, that's primeval in the very early years.
That's the very
that's
kind of like the inception of primeval.
72, probably.
And right here, this person right here on the drums is sitting right here beside me. That's Mel Cup.
Yeah.
Larry Lucas. Now just talk about Larry for a second.
Yeah. Larry's a great guitar player. He was the lead guitar player, one of the lead guitar players in Primeval. And he's a prodigy. He was born to play, that's for sure.
Yeah, still playing.
Yeah, still playing.
Playing with you.
Him and me still play together in the band.
Yeah, and the three of us, along with Joe Cripps and then Brent Guitar Murphy, the four, we played a 4-piece thing for a long time doing original stuff.
Yeah.
And Mark Sipe here on bass, no longer with us.
Yeah. God love him.
And that's another reason we're doing these episodes is because we're losing a lot of the players of that time.
Yeah.
And then we hop over here to Jay Wilfong. We both have connections to Wilfong as well. And then on the harmonica, on the lead vocals,
Dave Campton. Yeah.
Now you may be wondering, well, what did these guys sound like? Funny you should ask. Here's a little bit of one of your. I didn't know.
Yeah.
You remember recording this? What is that monster business? Well, on the drum, dude. Oh, so kind of establishing our credentials, if you will. Thank you, everybody. Thank you over there in the chat. And again, we're not doing any politics. We're just doing nothing but music on Indiana Rocks. And we may have a special guest coming up here. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so.
I kind of got to keep an eye on the clock. All right, let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit about. Well, let's see. How should we do this? I'm going to give a little bit of background here. We'll give you a little bit of history of the band we're talking about. This is a band that I'm amazed did not make it bigger.
Yeah.
Nationally.
Yeah.
The talent in this band.
Yeah, they were awesome. Everybody in the band was great.
And we're talking about Roadmaster. They started as Pure Funk, a popular Indiana college funk band. In 1969, they were founded by Michael Reed, Asher Adam Smasher, Ben Ruby.
Rob Swaney, here's the voice. Blast from the past.
And bassist Toby Myers joined the band in 1971. Let's stop here for just a second. The name Asher Ben Ruby.
Yeah.
All right. His son.
Yeah, Abraham.
Okay. What about him?
Well, he's been in movies and I think he was on the ER
The TV show ER?
Yeah, the TV show. Yeah, he's like an orderly. He was like one of the main characters. And he was in Open Range with Robert Duvall and all them guys. He's
Okay.
done a really good job.
And his dad is right here. Where we at? Here we are. This is his dad right up here in the picture. I don't know how well that's going to come across, especially if you got an old phone. But Adam Smasher, and Adam Smasher was his stage name and his disc jockey persona.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. So they started as Pure Funk, and then Rick Bennick met Michael Reed in 1970s when Bennick moved to Indiana to join the Kokomo, Indiana rock band Nebula Spoon. Talk about Nebula Spoon for a second.
Well, in '73, we played at the Sherwood Club, and I was drummer for Primeval, and there was a few bands there besides us, and one of them was Nebula Spoon, and I was, I watched them play, and they were really, really good.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know till later that Rick was in the band, Bennick, and but they were just a really good band. I was impressed with them. It was fun playing with them.
And then drummer Steve Riley rounded out their lineup. They changed their name to Roadmaster, and musical style began to evolve into a big guitar and keyboard centered arena rock sound. Is what they're saying. They were discovered by Todd Rundgren. Todd Rundgren and Utopia.
Yeah, you couldn't find a better
somebody to back you. He invited the band to New York to record a demo, which led to a contract with Indianapolis record label Village Records. Rundgren produced 3 songs on their self-titled '76 debut album. After that, Smasher left the band to pursue a career as a radio disc jockey.
Yep.
He also tried to get on MTV, didn't he? Or did he get on MTV?
I think he's been on MTV.
Okay. All right.
I know he orchestrated the big thing at the LA Stadium or whatever it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when Axl Rose, Guns N' Roses played.
Yeah.
And it was soon after the thing they did in St. Louis where they got into the big, Axl dove out into the crowd and started fighting with everybody.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway, I think Adam Smasher had like a whole section of on a certain cue to stand up and flip off Axl Rose.
Oh.
Yeah. That was
okay.
Awesome.
I forget what I was going to say. The juxtaposition in music that Roadmaster went through in its history. In its inception, Roadmaster was primarily known for No One Sing Like That Boy Do.
Yeah.
And describes Adam Smasher for those that have no idea.
Well, it was, the musicians were awesome. And when, I only saw him do a concert once with Roadmaster after they made their record.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him at Market Square Arena, and they did "Who Can Sing Like Fat Boy Do." I love that song, It was kind of like great musicianship, but it was kind of like a comedy act. You know, especially not Roadmaster was pure fun.
Hang on. We have a special guest joining us here. Hello?
Hello.
Hello. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is none other than the person you're looking at right over here on this side of the screen right now. This is Michael Bone Reed, keyboardist extraordinaire.
Oh yeah.
One of the best musicians to ever come out of Indiana.
Yeah.
And founding member of Pure Funk, which we are just talking about right now as we get ready to talk about Roadmaster.
Oh boy, that goes back a long way.
And Bone, thank you, brother, for joining us. Mel Cup and I'm Barry Welsh, and again, we're documenting the things that made Indiana rock. The bands, the musicians, the locations, personalities that kind of shaped Indiana music from the 60s on up. And you're an icon in all of that.
Well, I don't know about that, but I appreciate you saying that.
So the first thing I want to ask you, did you ever have to lug around a Hammond B3 with a Leslie?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I put extra high end and extra power in it. It was quite a Leslie.
I remember carrying our keyboard player's B3 up 2 or 3 flights of stairs at IU, one of the dorms, playing for them. Yeah, that was fun.
We actually cut it down, and I had chromed steel legs and folded up. And we put wheels on it, so one guy could get it, but we never did it that way. We always did two. But yeah, we played Rush Up in Chicago and others, and we carried it upstairs and downstairs all over that city. So yeah.
Did Toby play with an SPT, an MPEG SPT, one of those casket cabinets, the 610s?
That was a large cabinet.
Like a refrigerator.
Yeah, people don't realize the amount of work that went into playing rock and roll back then to get that sound.
You get paid for moving equipment. Back in the day, we actually had people moving, guys moving our gear because that was just fun to do. All those guys that moved our gear are doing much better than anybody can. One guy is Bruce Springsteen's sound man. Another one,
nice.
Bruce Sandler, who was our sound guy, he started a company called Village Audio, and he practically owns Maui. Now he's got everybody out there, and other guys, just going on to do all kinds of great things in sound companies and things like that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Mel, the first time. Okay, let's just start. Bone, talk about how Pure Funk came together.
Well, back in the day, there were lots of other great bands that, like Swinston, the Commons, the Boys Next Door, the Dawn Five, that's, the End, with Dave Crockett. The End was Dave Crockett out of, anyway, there are lots of great bands that influenced us all. But back in the day, as a junior in high school, equipment-wise, we just decided to start a band. Asher, Pat Nolan, Fred Wright, Steve Eisenberg, we just put a band together. We had no money. We were a bunch of little poor kids. And we borrowed a set of drums and rolled over on the side. You had to put a stack of books under them. We went down to a pawn shop and bought a bass so we could teach Eisenberg how to play. We had a sax player. And we started there. We put the band together. But we didn't know how to travel because we had to, have a piano everywhere. And then one day I saw a World Tour electric piano, the kind that Ray Charles used to use. I went, this is the next thing. I'm going to save my paper route money and get that. So once we had that, we could go out and play different places and just started playing, and it was at George High School. It was all R&B stuff that we played, and for white boys, we did okay. So, it's like we learned, Lavelle Hardy and Dyke and the Blazers and stuff like that, and early Temptations music. So that really influenced a lot what we did. But when we we started to go to school, which I never finished. And we decided to start. We dismissed the band so much we started it down there. And through over a period of time, we were writing our own songs and became extremely popular down there, mainly because Asher was so great and such a great front man. And the band, took care of the music, and we gradually, Toby's in a different band called The Urge, and with Doug Kennerly, and we just gradually, people that wanted to keep on music, you kind of gather those into your realm, and that's how we did it. We saw Max sing with a band out of Kokomo, and that's how Ricky came out here from playing with the bands out in D.C. because of Mac and the Nebula Spoon band. So just gradually over the time, the people who wanted to keep going with music and make a career of it, which we didn't really quite know we were going to make a career out of it at the time. We just, you dream big, and we were writing our own songs, and we would, rather than in a club, we would go like, well, here's one by Jay Giles, and it'd be our song. So people go,
yeah, we did that too.
Song, So we eventually got, as we got the bands together, we got, Pure Funk was just a band that we were a reformation of our high school band, only bringing in different people from, different bands. So I could bring in Toby in and Kelly in and people like that, and gradually, got the lineup that we wanted. We got a record contract, did our first album. Todd Rundgren saw us play in Cincinnati, and he liked it. We did one of his songs. It's called SLUT, and we did our own version of it. And when I saw him turn his head and watch the band, I said, I think we've caught his interest. But yeah, he invited us out to New York and said, just get out there and I'll record it for free. And we hopped in a car, made a date, and went out there, and he recorded 3 of our songs. And just things went from there. So, most band life is 7 years, 7 to 9 years. So lots of bands the Stones are an amazing story, but most bands don't have a long shelf life. And, if you don't make enough money at it, everybody's got to find a way to make a living. So, and we did. I've been lucky to be a musician all my life. Always really good. Ricky, Toby, Bobby, and Mac, So, we've been very fortunate. But yeah, there's just a lot of great music in that day. Faith Band and Roadmaster Band were two that very influential and influenced a lot of bands in that era of time. So we've been very lucky.
You sure influenced us. That's for sure. You and the Faith Band. You guys were the standard.
Yeah. Some of us are still around.
I had a lot of fun with you. We played there at the Sherwood with you guys. We played at IU. Had a party outside with you guys. Yep. And we had JQ Hogs there in Indianapolis on the east side on Washington Street.
Wilfong owned that, right? Wilfong?
Well, he leased it. It used to be Fitch Furniture or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I was in on that. I was drummer in Jay's band, so we all was in there working on it all the time.
For free.
Yeah, of course. But anyway, I remember you guys playing in there. And
a lot of the gigs, Toby was better at remembering a lot of the gigs. I kind of just, I remember playing Lambda-Kai Lawn Dance. I remember playing at IU. We opened up for Chicago's one of Chicago's early gigs at the old IU Field House. And that was fascinating because the PA that they brought in was just an old Sun Coliseum. They had 2 on each side, of course, but it's just the early days of Chicago, seeing bands like that and playing up in Chicago at Rush Up where they got their start. And same thing with Cheap Trick. We were all doing the circuit up in Chicago. And Pez Band was another one up there that was all that probably could have made it and didn't. But, we were all hanging out together back in the day. Same thing with all the bands out of Champaign, Illinois, REO, and Blunthem Entertainment, Michael McDonald, the one on Jack's. Just always there's a ton of talent in the Midwest. So.
Oh yeah.
And you had Seeger coming out of Detroit.
Yeah, we played up there in the brewery in Lansing, Michigan. We were driving up, and we opened up for Seeger. And he packed the club out, and what influenced me most of that was the fact that his band never got loud, and the volume was perfect all night long. It just never was a loud, overkill band. They just have people going crazy though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is, it, pun intended. What you just said speaks volumes for the importance of a sound man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just the sound man. It was the way the band played. I mean, I was in.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, the drummer wasn't killing the drums, and the guitar player didn't have a double Marshall stack, things like that. It's just that the band, the sound man, of course, are great. That's very, very, very strong deployment. But it's just a small club, and I was just impressed by the way they handled it. And the interesting thing about him, he had the Ramblin' Gambler Man hit in the '60s, but put 8 more albums out in Michigan. All sold about 100,000 copies back in the days when you could actually make a little money selling an album before he had another national hit. So, but his company believed in him, and just eventually got his national recognition that he so richly deserves. So,
Yeah. Cool.
but yeah, we've been lucky to cross paths with a lot of people who are in the early years. I'm not sure it's the same scene out there anymore. Music has changed drastically.
It's not even close to the same scene, Michael. No.
There's still some great people. Alan Stone is an incredible artist and has a great band, and he doesn't have the same band together all the time, but he's a great artist. And the day and age, I think, of actually keeping a band and rising to the top. They're so. What is it on the top 40 charts? The one band represented. So
Maybe
names that all like Todd Rucker said, all the names sound like an internet password.
Yeah. Oh man.
Okay, how did the transition happen from Pure Funk to Roadmaster? Was it just a name change?
Record company, and we'd outgrown the type of music that Pure Funk represented. We were definitely hitting a different era and writing our own songs, and I almost think the name might have been taken. Pure Funk might have been involved, but and our drummer actually, he was nicknamed Roadmaster Steed. I don't know why we call him that, but we decided to make the decision to. We wrote a song called Roadmaster, and we just adopted from that. So
okay,
it's time for a name change before we start getting a murder contract. So
and the
name that represented the band more than the old name did.
And there's such a juxtaposition in sound and in style from No One Sing Like Fat Boy Do to Sweet Sweet Music.
Yeah, well, at the time we were actually becoming 2 different bands under the same umbrella. Asher was an extremely large personality. He was getting out a lot of notoriety on his own. And at that point in time, we had kind of a choice, which actually, in the divergence of paths worked out great. He became a huge radio star instantly. He was one of the first MTV video jockeys.
That's what we
and
thought.
Age 30, age 29 or 30, they actually told him he was too old. He was the funniest guy on there. He had great stuff, and I can't believe that your management didn't keep him. But he went on to DC 101 and KC in St. Louis. He had a smash band in St. Louis. But we were becoming like a band that could have followed the Lucas and like Fat Boy did song. That song in particular sounds like 2 songs in one. There's this big musical section in the middle, which sounds like Yes, and there's the lyrics and actually throws to the song, which I always thought if we had followed that route, actually I talk about some other funny songs that we had written back in the day. I guess I can say this. One of those songs was called "If I Can't Have You, I've Got to Have Your Mother if She's Anything Like You." It was a great song. We never put that out. Now we're looking like that's like nothing compared to what's very good. We think about it. We put something like that, we probably would have had some sort of notoriety with it because it would have been considered, very risque at the time, and that was the route we could have gone. We could have been either Ash's backup band, and still done great, but we wanted to be more of a band, so there was that, going on with our music, and we still all love each other, but we just had to
go in different directions. We
WNEP picked him up almost instantly.
Oh yeah, The Wrath of the Buzzard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We recorded a song called "Sex on the Phone" and another one called "Frazzle," both of which were incredibly sexual oriented songs, obviously. So, yeah, I would have loved to hear. If I can't have you, I'll take your mother if she's anything like you.
Yeah. It was definitely rocking. Yeah, we still laugh about that. We don't have ways of preserving the recordings. I mean, I think I have a stack of quarter-inch reel tapes, which once again at age 74, the time to do these sort of reminiscing things is not really in my wheelhouse. I'm still writing songs and still playing.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. We both are too. Yeah.
I did take some of the old songs and I redid. I put out my own CD a couple of years ago and I've got most other ones started. But I redid "Hey World" and a little,
Oh yeah.
more the way without it. I wish I had Max voice on it, but it's like it's different, but it's very strong. So.
Okay, on the screen right now, I'm showing the people North Drive-In Theater, Anderson, Indiana, State Road 9, 4 miles north, Monday, September 7th, 1981, Labor Day concert. It's a ticket. It costs $15 to get in. Headliner was Roadmaster, Faith Band, Light, and Nightlife.
Yeah, Light was a good band too.
Wasn't Jeff Gardner, our buddy Jeff Gardner, wasn't he in Light? Was Jeff Gardner in Light? No.
He was a sound man for Faith Band.
Right now he's out in Maui. That guitar player was out in Maui. It wasn't Jeff Gardner. He was in a different band.
Okay.
It was the names escape you right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That was 1981. Let me buzz down here just a little bit more.
It's $15.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I was at that one.
Some of the artists that in like Bruce Hornsby still, $45 to $70. Same thing with Tom Ryder, $45 to $70. You get good seats. And I would see those guys whenever I can.
Oh yeah. Todd's always a treat.
Yeah.
I've got something else up on the screen for the viewers now. This is from Q95 at the Vogue, along with Sunshine Promotions, the first annual Rockin' Picnic Jam.
Yeah.
You guys were the headliners. Pat Travers, Airborne, which became Light, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Point Blank.
They didn't show.
Point Blank didn't show. Mel was at this concert, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wouldn't have missed that.
It was ticket prices $2.95.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was traffic was backed up.
Yes.
From McCordsville to
17,000 people showed up for like a
yeah.
300,
Had like
300,000.
one or two bathrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think our management flew us in on a helicopter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember exactly, but I remember they had to fly us one of those that we thought we were big time.
Or some guy jumped out of a plane.
We were like, wow, it wasn't so much thing we're big time. We were taking
Yeah.
like, what?
Well,
We can't drive in there. We're to the bus.
all right, July 6th, 1978. It cost $5 to get in to the Indiana Convention Center. You were the headliner. Roadmaster was the headliner. The special guest was Cheap Trick, and the opening act was AC/DC.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, sold out. That was a sold out show.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, my paycheck was still only $135 that week. Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we thank you so much for giving us some of your time. We'll wrap up here with this. If you can, speak just a little bit on Rick Bennick, on Toby Myers, on Mac. The guys that aren't here anymore, sadly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all stayed brothers, especially especially Ricky and I, through the years. We played a lot of different bands together, and Mac left us way too early. He's in his late 40s, and it was just tremendous shock. It was, to me, in a way, the dream of Roadmaster at that time. We had some reunion shows which were absolutely phenomenal. And when Mac was sick, we did a benefit concert for him and raised $35,000, $40,000, something like that, back in the 90s. But yeah, what we shared and what we created musically, we're still amazed sometimes at people coming up to us and tell me, and told them at times too, what that music meant to them, how they followed the band around. Us to the people coming up to some of the the bands I play with and tell me they remember it from Roadmaster, how much they loved it. So we're happy that the music still stands up over after all this time. And we just knew as we saw each other play, we knew that we would all be in a band together. When we saw Mac first time, I saw Ricky play in Chicago, and he's going to be in our band. So when I first saw Toby, he's going to be playing with me someday. So yeah, I miss them all. We know that time definitely wins eventually.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thankful for the time we had, and I'm thankful to be able to still keep playing and recreating some of those Roadmaster songs. There's still a ton of unreleased cuts that we have, which I'm still finding.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, one final thing. One other final thing. How did you guys not become national? You were Midwestern stars here in the Midwest.
Yeah.
What happened? Is there something?
Yeah, but it would require me being negative. I don't think that.
All right, never mind. Yeah.
It's okay. I'll just say, the leaderships, the types of contracts that we signed were not really conducive or benevolent to, they weren't really in our band's best interest. It was
Gotcha.
a package deal. And, it's just the way things happened back then. And, I've had friends tell me usually things work out the way they're supposed to anyway. If that had happened, I got a feeling success might have killed all of us.
Yeah, we've talked. We've talked about
We
that.
got to be in John's band after that, and I got to go out with the Turtles after that, and and Ricky and I, Mitch Ryder. So yeah, we got we made a career out of it. And it's also the music was changing so much at the time. When we were starting to make it big, all of a sudden punk rock hit towards the end of what we were doing. So actually that classic rock sound was somewhat going out at the early part of the 80s. So it wasn't just management. It was, I don't think the deal was a great deal for us on Three Records, but that's all hindsight. Hindsight is 2020.
Because Kansas, REO, Journey, none of those bands had anything on you guys.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just being real.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, would you consider coming back on with us sometime and talking some more?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys very much. Take care.
All right. We'll see you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
That was
an honor.
That was super cool. Probably most people won't understand yet. Once the series gets going, but the name drops. AC/DC, Cheap Trick, Todd Rundgren, Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels. Only they were Mitch Ryder and Detroit then, I believe.
Well, I don't know if they were Detroit. The band,
it might just been
right after the Wheels split up, was just Detroit.
Okay,
but that was different.
Toby, of course, went on to be the bass player for John Mellencamp's band, John Hoosier Cougar Mellencamp. Johnny Cougar. He was Johnny Cougar when my favorite song is I Need a Lover Who Won't Drive Me Crazy. Think of that what you will. You haven't known me very long. All right, let's do one final thing here. Again, another one final thing. We've been talking about them. Now we're going to show you just a little bit of them here. This is This is Roadmaster, and probably their biggest hit, the song that they're most well known for. It's called "Sweet Music." That is
McNally.
Steve Mac McNally. I think my ex-wife.
Oh,
Yeah, that's Bones right there. Michael Bone Reed, the guy we just got done talking with. That's him. And then
John.
Bobby John on the drums. That's Toby Myers right here on the bass, the red and the black. And then over there playing guitar is the legendary Rick Bennett right there. It was so cool to talk to him.
Yeah.
You know, how cool was that?
That was very cool.
All right, I got to see if I can find one more thing here. I want to kind of try to take this full circle. I was looking for it, and I didn't want to not pay attention. Plus, I holding the phone up to the mic. We get things figured out. This is what I wanted right here.
Yeah. Asher had the big fro.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, I don't have video of them. I'm hoping Bone comes back and watches all this and sees what was on while he was talking. Where we at? Here we go.
Roger Holloway in that picture.
They can't see it yet. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Roger Holloway. Well, they can't see you pointing either.
Yeah.
Roger Holloway, for those that don't know. Here's Bone. There is
Asher.
yeah. And
I don't know those two.
I don't know who the other two guys are either. This was in 1972, so this is that Rick Bennett?
No, I don't.
Are you
think
sure?
So.
It might be Rick. I don't know.
I don't think.
Anyway, this is very rare. We got a little bit of oh yeah, yeah. And Adam Smasher, incredibly charismatic, and doing songs. He wasn't trying to do stuff that he wasn't. Right. All right, that was pure funk. They went on to become Roadmaster, and again, simply because of some management situations, did not make it as big as I feel they should have.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
Yeah, they should have. You know, they had the hit songs.
And they and they were great players. They all went on and played with other people, including Toby, bass player Toby Meyer. He went on to play with Mellencamp. And next Monday, we are going to be doing an episode on the members of Mellencamp's band that starting with the album. So I don't think we can play a lot of cuts. I don't know if Mellencamp would do copyright on us or not. I think probably might. So there may not be a lot of music. There's some episodes, like if we got somebody on that wrote the songs, it's, we're going to be okay, I hope. But you never know.
Yeah.
So again, thank you for clicking on. Thank you for hanging around to the end. Those of you that did, we greatly appreciate it.
Awesome.
And it's a dark world. Be a light. I got to always remind everybody of that. And we will see you. See you next. We'll see y'all next Monday night at 9 p.m. when it's going to talk more about Toby specifically from the Roadmaster band and progressing to Mellencamp. Daggone it! I wanted to ask Bone if I was right, and that at the Vogue, that it was at the Vogue where Roadmaster was playing, and they stopped playing because Toby was playing with Mellencamp on Dave Letterman's show.
And they wanted to watch it.
Yeah, everybody stopped. The whole place wanted to watch it, but the band told us it was happening, and and they're like, "You okay if we stop?" And So
Sure.
All right. Thank you all for watching. We will see you. We'll see you all next Monday. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share. Let people know what we're starting here. And great episode.
Yeah.
All right.